I'd like to call this council and committee meeting to order. Madam Clerk, the roll call.
All members of council are present, Your Worship, with the exception of Councillor Luberts.
Thank you very much. There's no addendum tonight, just a few announcements. The first, I wanted to make reference to the fact that the Fort Erie Fire Department held its 28th annual Service Awards ceremony last Saturday, and a number of individuals were recognized. Councillors Nutt and McDermott were in attendance. And I think it's appropriate that I just go down the list of the names of the individuals who were recognized for their service with our volunteer fire department. For 5 years service, Jessica Kampf, Travis Richard and Stuart Ruffley from Station 5, Christopher Smith from Station 3, and Jonathan Witkowski from Station 6. For 10 years service, Dustin Dunseith from Station 5, Kevin Hess and Robert Kirk from Station 3, Michael Reinhardt and Darren Smith from Station 4. For 15 years service, Jason Armstrong, Ryan Bruning, and James Ramsey from Station 5, Frank Devereaux, Richard Hingley, and Sean Thibodeau from Station 4, Mark Dunseith from Station 3, and Ken Teal from Station 6. There was a 15-year service award for the Suppression Division, Education Division, and Emergency Management Division, as well as firefighter, and that was given to Michael Atkins from Station 6. 20 years service under that category to Dennis Chu of Station 4 and James Overholt of Station 3, and 20 years service to Kevin Moran and Mark Schmidt from Station 4 and Doug Whale from Station 3. And then there was a 40-year service recipient, Bill Trope, who was originally with, I thought it was Station 1, and now Central Station. 40 years, boy, that's a long time. And I know he's had a lasting impression. I'm not exactly sure whether that's good or bad, but he's had a lasting impression. Then a 40-year service award for the Suppression Division, then Public Education Division, as well as a firefighter to Rohinton Mystery of the old Station 2. And he's a public educator now, and again, sterling service. The fire department also recognized Dave Schabel, who was the former department chaplain, and recognized Mark Fazekas for 16 years service and Don Marr 21 years service, and they've recently retired. The station with the best attendance at the training sessions was Station 6, which is Crystal Beach. The station with the best attendance in responding to emergencies was Station 5, and that's Stevensville. And they have, they've got quite a large group of firefighters at that station, so they're doing very well. I know that this year's recruitment has garnered, is it 15 or 16, Chief?
15, Your Worship. 15
new firefighters, and that's fantastic. There was also appreciation extended to individuals who left the service this year: Carlton Midgley, Dave Schluter, Patrick Brunet, Gavin Farrell, Jason Whistle, Ryan Melanson, and Cindy Atkins. In the middle of last week, the Optimist Club of Fort Erie held its annual Youth Appreciation Dinner and Award Night, and they recognized 8 students, elementary school students in Fort Erie, for their excellence and recognition as being good citizens in their schools. So the recipients of the awards were Brianna Zimmerman Bond from Our Lady of Victory Catholic School, Justine Veltman and Michaela Timpson from Garrison Road Public School, Maya Tyrrell from Stevensville Public School, Riley Myers from St. Philomena Catholic School, Sasha Nutt from St. Joseph Elementary Catholic School, Stacy Weeks from Peace Bridge Public School, and Thomas Mate from St. George Elementary Catholic School as well. So congratulations to all of them. They had a very good evening, large attendance. I think the largest group that I've been made aware of in all of the meetings that I've been there. A lot of proud parents and grandparents and proud teachers, and all rightly so. On May the 5th, the Fort Erie Arts Council held the grand opening for its new facility on Ridge Road. Councilors Passero and McDermott were in attendance, and that was very well attended as well. Beautiful weather, great facility. They're able to not only exhibit art displays, but also hold programs there to teach art, and so that's really good news for the arts community in Fort Erie. Later that day, the Bone Road Women's Institute held its 110th anniversary dinner. I believe that they are the oldest service organization in Fort Erie, having started in 1908, and a remarkable group of women still doing wonderful work in the community. And finally, I'd like to wish a happy Mother's Day next Sunday, May the 13th, to all the mothers on council and in our community. So that takes us to disclosures of pecuniary interest. Councillor Butler.
Thank you, Your Worship. I have a conflict with PDS 28-2018 as Stevensville Lawn Service as a client.
What about PDS 29 and 29? One is Crystal Beach and one is Bay Beach. It's both Stevensville Lawn Service.
Yes, thank you. Then
Okay.
Also PDS 29-2018.
Any other disclosures? Madam Clerk, I have the same disclosure of pecuniary interest with both PDS 28 and PDS 29, since Stevensville Lawn Service is a client of my law firm. That takes us into notices of upcoming public meetings. The first, there's a public open house for the South End Riverwalk Core Area Community Improvement Plan, Wednesday, May the 9th. That's this week, 5 to 7 p.m. here at the Town Hall in the atrium. There's a public meeting with respect to the South End Riverwalk Core Area Community Improvement Plan, Tuesday, May the 22nd. That's the formal meeting here at the Town Hall in the Council Chambers, 6 p.m. The information report with respect to that will be available Wednesday, May the 16th, 2018 on our website. And there's also a public meeting with respect to a rezoning bylaw amendment for 275 Gorham Road, Tuesday, May the 22nd, 2018 at 6 p.m. here in the Council Chambers. And again, the information report will be available Wednesday, May the 16th. There are no public meetings this evening. There is a consent agenda, and could I have a motion to move the consent agenda? Councillor Zanko. Are there any questions with respect to any of the reports contained in the consent agenda? Councillor Zanko.
I thank you, Your Worship. Not necessarily questions, but a couple comments. Sure. First one with regard to IS 15 2018. Just thanks again to Council's support for moving that engineering portion forward so we can have this shelf ready for Lakeside Road. And the second comment is with regard to IS 16 2018. Just kudos to Adam and the staff in the Water Department. For anyone who's looked through this report, they were very proactive this year, and they were able to save our town a lot of money with being proactive. So just a thank you for that.
Comments are very much appreciated. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor of the items in the consent agenda? None opposed? That is carried. That then takes us to Planning and Development Services. Councillor Passero.
Thank you, Your Worship. We don't have any presentations or delegations tonight under PDS. We'll go into reports. First up, PDS 27-2018, sale of limited marketability land, 469 Gloria Road, Lot 22, Plan 497 Birdie, Fort Erie, Linda Reed. If I could have a mover for that. Councillor Zanko, that's on the floor for comments or questions. Seeing none, all in favor? That's carried. Next up, PDS 28-2018, award of contract for the Crystal Ridge Park improvements, and I note on conflicts of interest from His Worship and Councillor Butler. A mover for that report. Councillor Nutt, thank you. That is on the floor for comments or questions. Seeing none, all in favor? That's carried. Next up, PDS 29-2018, award of contract for the Bay Beach site improvements. Councillor Nutt, thank you again. Comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor? That's carried. New business or inquiries under Community and Development Services. Councillor Butler.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was wondering if you could tell me if the Parks and Recreation Department plan to modify the tennis courts throughout the town.
Mr. Brady, could I direct that to Ms. Hanson?
Certainly,
Wanna field
since it's not a question on the report, I think that would be most appropriate.
Ms. Hanson? Oh, the question is, what is our timeline for facilitating the lining of additional tennis courts for pickleball throughout the municipality? Wayne? Your worship? Microphone's on. There we go.
Got it? Okay, I'll start again through you, Mr. Chair. I spoke with Sean Hutton earlier today in regards to the intention to reline the tennis courts with pickleball or overlay pickleball lines on the existing tennis courts. He has established a priority based on the need to reline the courts. So he is looking at one court a year, starting with Bill Connolly Field, then Energy Field, Albert Street, AC Douglas, and then Stevenson Memorial Park. So that's based on the need to reline the tennis courts to start with, and when he does that, he'll come back and put pickleball courts on top of that.
Councillor Butler?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I just wondered if, I know I can't speak to the report, but I was just wondering if you could tell me if there's any indication with respect to Crystal Ridge and the tennis courts being implemented there, if there's going to be opportunity for pickleball there as well.
Yep, so Ms. Hanson, could you just elaborate on what the plan is now going forward? For Crystal Ridge?
Yep, through you, Mr. Chair. The intent is to, when we construct the tennis court at Crystal Ridge Park, we will put pickleball lines on it as well. We also have an outstanding project in Ferndale Park where we are going to reconstruct the tennis courts with a multi-use court. So that would be on one side, it would be tennis, and one side would be basketball and ball hockey. And with the tennis court, we will overlay pickleball lines as well.
Thank you, Councillor Butler. Anything further under PDS? Seeing none. Comments or questions regarding the business status reports? Seeing none, I will turn the chair back to His Worship.
Councillor Passero, I think there was a response to an inquiry made by Councillor Zanko, and I believe Mr. Brady wanted to respond to that under your.
Sure. Mr. Brady?
Certainly. On April 16th, Councillor Zanko brought to the attention of staff that there were issues associated with protection of dogs in extreme weather conditions, both heat and cold. There's a response that was provided to council, which you have. It's a pink sheet, if you will. I'll read portions of it so that the public are well aware of the response. So the town's bylaw regulates and restricts and prohibits the keeping and running of at large of dogs in the town, and it's enforced by the SPCA through an agreement with the town. The town's bylaw controls and sets fines for a whole variety of items. The current bylaw does not contain any provisions protecting dogs left inside a vehicle or outside in extreme weather conditions. These items are generally covered under the Ontario Society for the Prevention and Cruelty of Animals Act and through the obligations and prohibitions. This section gives the society the ability to take action, and it also gives the society the ability to set fines in those cases. In an emergency situation, an inspector can remove an animal from a situation that requires attention and deal as is required. So in conclusion, the Ontario Society for the Prevention and Cruelty of Animals Act provides the SPCA with the type of control to deal with animals left in the heat and the cold. The society has been consulted and on this issue and confirmed that they have that legislation under the Act to deal with these situations. What is of concern to the society is the lack of ability to regulate instances where animals are discovered in enclosed spaces, such as a motor vehicle, without adequate ventilation. So it's not a heat or cold, it's a ventilation system. So the society has requested that the town include this issue in any amendments made to the current bylaw. So if council sees so fit, they could address those concerns brought forth by the society based on our discussions with them and direct staff to modify the town's bylaw 119-97 to include a section on the animals in confined spaces. We'd be glad for council to direct us to do so.
Thank you, Mr. Brady. I'll ask Councillor Zanko for any questions or comments.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I definitely would like to bring that forward, Mr. Brady. And my question would be, how quickly can those changes be put into place? As we can see, the weather is, it's getting warmer now, so I would like to have something in place prior to the summer season.
Certainly, we can move as quickly as we can. I'm not sure of the exact process in terms of dealing with that bylaw, but we will deal with the change to the bylaw as soon as we receive the direction.
So I know his worship will probably comment, but next regular council meeting, and I have no doubt there'd be support to waive rules of procedure as well, even to have that entertained that night and get staff working on it. Anything further, Councillor Zanko, to that response? No? Seeing nothing further, I'll turn the chair back to his worship.
Thank you, Councillor Passero. That takes us then to Infrastructure Services. Councillor Zanko.
Thank you, Your Worship. Infrastructure Services is now in session. We have no presentations or delegations this evening, so that will take us to report IS 13-2019, an addition of an hourly floor rental rate at Stevensville Memorial Hall to the consolidated schedule of fees and charges, and this is postponed from our April 16th, 2018 Council and Committee meeting. Do I have a mover? Councillor McDermott. That is on the floor. Are there any comments or questions, Your Worship?
Thank you, Councillor Zanko. So this was put over to now because there was some consideration of how to deal with the request by the Beachcombers, and I may have missed a memo on this. Did I? Okay. So I'm just wondering what the upshoot of the discussions were between Mr. Hutton and presumably representatives from the Beachcombers pickleball force.
Can I turn that over to you, Jason? Yeah.
Through you, Madam Chair, to the councillor or to the mayor. We have had that meeting. I was not present myself. Sean Hutton has had the meeting with the Beachcombers. They have discussed some other alternatives. There will be a report coming to council in the future, scheduled tentatively for May 22nd.
Thank you, Mr. Maher. Anything further, Your Worship?
So if we were to pass this, then we've got an hourly rate, which I presume would apply to the Beachcombers. Is that correct?
My understanding, is that correct, Mr. Maher?
Yes, that's correct.
And we've gone how long now without a formal rate? Stevensville Hall?
Do you know the answer to that question?
No, I don't know at this point in time.
Time immemorial, I'm guessing. Well, I'm just wondering why we would need to deal with this now until we get, I mean, I was thinking that we would get some information back so we could deal with this all at once. And I don't know how many rentals there'll be between now and May the 20, was it the 2nd, 24th? 22nd. I would have thought that we would try to deal with this all at once.
Councillor Passero?
I agree with the mayor. I know at some point we'll be passing this anyways because we do need the hourly rate, and I fully expect the report that comes forward from infrastructure will probably have some type of deal with the Beachcombers, and a component of that will be the waiving of the hourly rate or something thereof. But yeah, I don't think there's any thing pressing. So I would put a motion to postpone this for 2 weeks, Madam Chair.
So that motion is on the floor for postponing. Is there any questions regarding the time frame of this motion? Okay, all in favor? That passes. Are there any items of new business? Councillor Nutt?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to welcome Jason Marr to his first council meeting. Sitting in for Mr. Walsh, I have a few items that I'd like to go over. Back in the winter, Mr. Walsh and I had a discussion via email about signage for Teal Road. If I send you that email, can you just follow up? Because I know that he said once spring, it got a little ways into spring and they could do stuff in the ground that he would follow up with me on it. But if I know he's away, and if I could just send that email to you, you could look into it and provide a response for me. That would be great. The other items I have, I just want to know the status of repairs for Burger Road from Church Road south to Bowen Road, Sunset Road north from Bowen Road going north to Karen's Crescent for Sunset Road north, Teal Road from Garrison Road to Birdie Road, Bowen Road west from Stevensville Road to Ott Road, and Fox Road from House Road heading eastward to Ott Road.
Yes, through you, Madam Chair, to the councillor. I have been made aware of these roads. I understand they are not in not the best of shape. Our operations crews are aware of the situation. They do have an ongoing list of roads that need to be repaired, especially after the winter months. It's some of our roads have taken a beating. So the operations crews are on top of it. In speaking with them today, there's 82 roads that are on the list to be repaired, and they're working through those that list as efficiently as possible to try to get the potholes repaired. One thing I would like to mention is that the engineering group has recently closed an RFP to request for proposal to hire an engineering firm who will be completing a pavement evaluation, condition assessment on all of our hard surface roads this summer. And that report will be used to prioritize our resurfacing program as we move forward. So.
Thank you very much, Mr. Marr. Through yourself, Madam Chair, to Mr. Marr, would it be possible to put a traffic counter on Sunset Road North? I've been told that there's heavy traffic due to NCC, and the citizens there, although they were complimentary of staff during the winter and said that they did come out, fill all the potholes when requested, did a good job, that again, just due to the amount of rain and I guess heaving of the ground between it thawing and whatnot, a lot of the potholes have reemerged. So their concern was kids, bus, there's no sidewalks, a lot of traffic from NCC. So if it's possible.
Can we maybe add that to the traffic coordinating committee agenda, Mr. Marr?
Yes, through you, Madam Chair, to the councillor, yes, we will look into that.
Anything further, Councillor Nutt?
Nope. Thank you very much for the information on the RFP. I'm really excited to have that company come in and do that. I think a lot of residents would find that information very useful. And welcome the council. Thank you.
Your worship.
Yes, thank you very much, Councillor Zanko. And Mr. Marr, that was very good. I wasn't sure if you were aware of the reassessment of the road condition, but that's excellent. So I guess it doesn't matter if Mr. Walsh is here or not. Just kidding, just kidding, just kidding. No, I know. He's probably listening. I had three items. The first, yeah, probably not. Yeah, not like some people who listen from Italy. Do we have a protocol with respect to municipal employees picking up large items of garbage on the roadside, such as a bag of garbage or a pillow or a piece of broken furniture that we see periodically along our roads? Is there anything that they can do or could do?
Mr. Marr, did you want to tackle that question, or should I forward that to Mr. Cookett?
I'll
I
take
spoke
that.
to the CAO
Okay,
about it,
Mr.
so he's
Cookett?
aware.
Through you, Chair, to the councillor, or to the mayor, sorry. We do have a protocol, basically, if the crews are out and they see garbage, depending on what it is and what crew it is. So if it's a water crew going out that looks after water meters and they have a van, their service van, obviously they would not pick up the garbage. They wouldn't put it in the back. What they would do is call that in to the Gibson Center, and that would get reported and put on the list for pickup. If it's another crew who would have the capabilities of picking it up, they'll stop and pick it up if it's something light. If it's something major as a couch or a chair or something that's quite heavy, what they'll do is put it on a list and preferably pick it up in the morning or at the end of the day when the backhoe is out doing other works. So they do actually log it, and it creates a work order.
Thank you. Madam Chair, we have a lot of new employees in the public works, so I'm wondering if we could just reiterate this protocol to them so that if they are out and about and they see garbage on the side of the road, they can pick it up. Not litter, but large items.
We definitely will do that.
Thank you. Second item has to do with now that the Bowen Road overpass is closed and traffic is being diverted, there are some detour signs that have been erected in various parts of the town. They don't seem to make any sense. They take you partway through a detour and then there's no signs. And I'm wondering if it's possible for the CAO or the Public Works Department to communicate with the MTO and try to get some understanding of what these detour signs are supposed to say, and then maybe get some information that we could put on our website so that people will know where they're supposed to go and what the significance of some of these detours are. They do call for some significant alterations in traffic patterns, but it would be very helpful if people could understand what detour 2, detour 3, detour 5 means. Some of them are on the parkway even, so is that possible?
Mr. Marr
I'll
or
take-
Mr. Cookett?
I'll take that. Through your chair to the mayor. We will review that. We're part of the discussions with the MTO on the works that are going to take place at the Bowen Road. They provided us with detour routes. There's two different types, short-term, long-term. There will be at one point where the QDW is actually closed at night and all traffic will be rerouted around it. But it sounds like the detours that we reviewed, made comment on, and approved is not what's out there, or there's inadequate signage. So we'll send a crew out or have one of our supervisors go out, verify that the signs are in the correct location and actually make sense as far as detour numbers and so forth. So we'll definitely do that.
Thank you. And then just one last point. I've had ongoing communication from a resident on Jewson who was involved in a motor vehicle collision with a stop sign that actually requires traffic on Pound Avenue to stop. He advises me, and this has been communicated to the police, that traffic on Pound Avenue, despite the fact that there are these red stop signs, insists on proceeding through without stopping at Jewson and at 2 or 3 other locations. It's somewhat counterintuitive that the traffic on Jewson would be stopping when it's longer than all of these side streets off of Garrison Road. His suggestion was maybe the stop sign should be changed so that traffic on the side streets between Garrison and Pound Avenue and beyond are required to stop, and traffic on Pound can just continue straight forward. So I'm wondering if we could add that to the traffic advisory committee agenda to consider.
Sure. Mr. Marr, can you make that addition to the upcoming meeting as well?
Yes.
Thanks. Anything further, Your Worship? Councillor Butler?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have a couple of questions that are related to the downtown core of Ridgeway. Currently, there's a speed limit of 50, and I was asked just to walk up and down the street for a couple of weekends just to see for myself what the rate of speed was down in that downtown core, and to my surprise, it is quite quick. And my fear is that now that the farmers market is starting and the residents are going to swell up in that area, you know, inherently they're going to slow down, but I mean, I saw an 80-year-old man try to walk across the street, and the cars were relentless this weekend. So I'm hoping that we could take another look at that speed limit of 50 and reduce it down to 40. I think that's where it was prior to them changing it to 50 because the high school was there, so it was 40 there, and John Brandt is 40. There's not a transition period. So I'm hoping that perhaps Mr. Moore can take a look at that.
Yeah, and Councillor Butler, I know that that was discussed during our last traffic coordinating committee meeting, and there was some measures that were being looked at and possibly going to be considered for this coming season, right where that crosswalk, there was some discussions. So we can certainly include that again, but I think that is still an ongoing item, and there was additional things to be looked at. But I'm sure Mr. Marr's making note of this conversation as well.
Thank you. That's good to know that it's still an ongoing discussion and that we're going to take a look at it. The other thing that I wanted to bring to Madam Chair's attention was that there was a need for crosswalks, several crosswalks throughout that downtown core. And I'm wondering if Jason can speak to that, or Mr. Cookett, and see where we can resolve that issue.
I think, Mr. Cook, you could comment, but that is another item for traffic coordinating committee.
That is correct. And the only thing I would make comments on is I'm not a big fan of putting crosswalks where they're not controlled. So unless it's there's a traffic signal there, or you actually have lights that control the crosswalk, because it can be very dangerous for individuals because they see the crosswalk and they just walk through, and traffic is not aware of it because there's no signals to tell them to stop. So I know we've looked into it before where you put up just signals for a crosswalk, and it's in excess of $100,000 per crosswalk. But as the chair was saying, it's something that we can look at again at traffic coordinating.
And if I could just comment, I believe that was an area that was being looked at as far as where the Friendship Trail is, because of your concern that you brought forward last season. And also, if memory serves me correctly, the NRP, they weren't completely in favor of reducing the speed limit, and they did say that they put some officers in place to see if people were speeding, and when you're walking on a road, they point out that it seems a lot quicker. Obviously, if you're walking, the cars seem like they're speeding, but they didn't really feel that they were speeding. So I know those were discussions as well. But again, when you're a business on the area and you have customers that are feeling this way, it definitely needs to be looked at. So we can certainly add it, or continue on conversation.
Oh, that's wonderful, Madam Chair. Thank you. I know as I was walking, I felt like I was spinning a couple of times when the cars were going by. So, yeah, it had a big draft there. And my third and last request is there a possibility to have street sweeping when the downtown cores are having, just the day before, they're having their main events down on the streets?
Mr. Marr, would you like to comment or answer that question?
Yes, through you, Madam Chair, to the councillor. We will take that into consideration.
Thank you. And I have one more question, but I'm wondering if it would be best suited under corporate and community services, but it's with respect to water crew budgeting. So I think I'm better off to wait, correct? Yes, I see. Thank you.
Mr. Councillor McDermott, did you have your hand up or no? Okay, Councillor Passero.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Through you to Councillor Butler, that gentleman wasn't quite 80. That was me helping Councillor McDermott across the street for the Arts Council opening. Did you see that? Yeah. Very agile. Through you to Mr. Marr, we are starting preparation for a stormwater management pond just north of Albany Streets, west of Nancy Streets. And it was something that was alluded to when we were looking at one of those subdivisions going in, but now that we've actually started to cut down the trees and make some headway in there, I'm receiving a lot of phone calls as to precise location of the stormwater management pond, the design, proximity to homes, how it's going to be phased in. Can we put together some type of communication piece just to the homes that would border that stormwater management pond? So those homes on Nancy, Alberts, and Albany. I have seen the designs. I don't believe they're finalized yet, but when they are, if we could circulate some type of sketch to the surrounding residents. It's quite the change going from the woodlot they've always been used to a new stormwater management facility, and this is obviously the worst before it starts to get a little bit better. What was there will never be there again, but at least to highlight some of the berming, the landscaping, the fencing. There are some security concerns as well. So we could maybe package something together once the design is finalized and circulate that. I'd really appreciate it so the residents are fully aware of what exactly to expect when that stormwater management pond is fully functional.
Okay. Mr. Murray, you got that?
Yes, to you, Madam Chair. I'll take a look into this. I'm not familiar with this project as of yet, but I will take this into consideration and we'll get back to you. But definitely a notice can go out to the residents in the local area and wouldn't be an issue.
Okay. Thank you very much. I would have brought more. I have a whole list of things Kelly Walsh won't do for me. I should have brought them tonight. But how long is he away?
Apparently everybody else has brought their list.
I was not informed. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Are there any other business inquiries? Seeing none, is there any questions regarding the business status report? Seeing none, I will hand the chair back to you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Zanko. And that takes us to Corporate and Community Services. Councillor Nutt.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. Corporate and Community Services is now open. Just a quick comment for Councillor Passero. When you see us out of office, that's when you make the list. We have no presentations and delegations tonight. There are no reports to discuss. I'll move right to new business. Does anyone have any items of new business? Councillor Butler?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to find out if there's a possibility to get an increase for the water budget for the Ridgeway Core, because as you know, it's been difficult to find someone to water the plants down in that area, and the contractor that we hired last year has raised his price, increased it by $2,000, which they're finding difficulty trying to get that capital. So I'm wondering if there's any possible way to increase their budget for the watering.
Mr. Jansen?
Through the chair to Councillor Butler, I would recommend that the BIA, in this case, I believe it is the BIA that coordinates that watering grant, that they come forward with a request. At that amount, it's something that we could consider with the CAO's approval to allocate funds to that during the year. They may wish to consider whether or not that's something they could accommodate within their existing budget, as we do try to keep to those amounts across the board for all those user groups. But certainly they can bring something forward for us to take a look at.
Councillor Butler? Nothing else? Are there any other items under new business? Seeing none, we'll move to the business status report. Are there any comments or questions regarding the business status report? Seeing none, I'll close Community and Corporate Services and hand the chair back to His Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Nutt. That takes us to scheduling of meetings. Are there any meetings, Councillor Nutt?
Tomorrow morning at the Region, we have the Transportation Steering Committee.
At 9:30, correct. Any other meetings that anyone wishes to announce? Councillor Zanko?
Yes, Your Worship. We're having a Waverly Beach ad hoc committee on Friday, May the 11th. It's starting at Waverly Beach at 11 a.m. and then it's going to carry on here, I believe in Conference Room 1, Town Hall.
Thank you. Any others? If there are none, then that takes us...
Butler?
Sorry. You guys want to give us an update? Yeah. Sure.
All fingers pointing at me. So just a reminder of our Party on the Patio event. Elevate is the theme this year, happening June 9th, once again at the LeisurePlex. Tickets are already selling fast. We're very pleased with that. I want to thank Janine for her work on our behalf and helping us to put together the communication pieces and get the word out. Hoping that Mr. Cookett can make his way around Town Hall and scoop up some sold tickets for us. That would be great. Once again, looking forward to some fantastic food, compliments of Brad Brunton and Billy Bones and Restaurant 335 out of Ridgeway. And we've got some great bands signed up. We're starting to put the finishing touches on the timelines, a couple surprises here and there. So once again, as like the previous two, a night you won't want to miss. And once again, all proceeds going towards our fundraising campaign for our new fantastic theater. And want to thank my partners in crime, Councillor Zanko and Councillor Butler, but the whole balance of council has been very supportive of this event the last 2 years, and this will definitely be the last one. This is the trilogy, so we're going out in style. Some of the things we've wanted to do the last couple of years, we're going to do this time around. Thank you, Your Worship.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that update, and I'm confident it's going to be as exciting as it has been the last 2 years. Okay. If there are no other meetings to be announced, Councillor Nutt, can I call upon you?
Absolutely. We got to get home and watch the Raps get swept. The council and committee meeting for the town of Fort Erie hereby adjourns at 6:42 p.m.
All those in favor? None opposed? That is carried. Thank you.